Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. We welcome to your online learning initiative, Ekalaiva. We keep some animals at home which are helpful and useful to us. Also, we have seen some people keeping some birds like parrot and lovebirds in their house. And where do they keep these birds? They keep them in cage. And giving them food and protection, these people think that these birds are happy. Do you think so? No, these birds are not really happy. They love to be free and want to fly in the open space. Similar to that concept or idea, we are going to see a poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. Now let's move on to the poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. In this poem, the poet describes and compares the tiger in the zoo with the tiger in its natural habitat. And here in some stanzas he speaks about the tiger in the zoo. In some stanzas he speaks about the tiger in its natural habitat. Now let's see the line by line explanation of this first stanza. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. Here he means the tiger. Stalks means walks with pride. Vivid means bright or clear. Stripes means the orange and black colored lines that are found on the hides of the tiger. That lines, orange and black lines. Here he walks in his vivid stripes. The tiger walks very proudly in his colored stripes, that is the orange and black lines which are found on the hide of the tiger. The few steps of his cage. And why do you think the poet uses the word few steps? Now the tiger is in the cage and the cage has a very limited space. So that's why the tiger takes a few steps in the cage, I mean in the space available in the cage. On pads of velvet quiet. Pads means here the paths. The feet of the tiger is so soft that it walks very quietly and softly. The softness of the paws of the tiger is compared with the velvet, which is known for its softness. In his quiet rage. Rage means violent anger. As the tiger is in the cage, it is very angry. Though it is angry, it cannot show his anger. It cannot show his anger and power and the strength and everything, and the anger is suppressed. That is why it is quiet. So now let's see. He stalks in his vivid stripes. The tiger walks very proudly in a colored stripes on its hide. He takes very few steps in the space available in the cage, and it walks very softly as the paws of the tiger is very soft, and it is quiet because it cannot show its anger. It is helpless as it is inside the cage. It is the concealed confined area. So in this first stanza describes about the tiger in the in the zoo and its condition. Now let's move on to the next stanza. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. Here he again, the tiger, we are talking about the tiger, should be lurking in shadow. Lurking means remain hidden in the shadow. So it's hiding in shadow. Shadow is a place where it is dark. It's a dark area under the tree or something. When the tiger hides there, no, it won't be noticed by any other animal. So why do you think the tiger wants to hide there? It wants to catch its prey. So that is his way of hunting its prey. Sliding through long grass. Sliding means here it moves smoothly, that slips, and it slyly it moves through the long grass that are found near the water hole. So in the forest here and there some water area would be there, and there obviously we can see that long grass and some small herbs and shrubs, some plants would be there. So the tiger slyly moves through the long grass that are found near the water hole. When there is water area, water source, all the animals would come there to drink water. Here the tiger also expects a deer to come there to catch. So, and as it likes the deer, the fat plum means fat deer comes there to drink water. And here you can see how the tiger catches its prey. So the deer is its prey, and you can see how the deer is being caught by the tiger. And in this picture you can see how the tiger slyly moves through the long grass. And in this whole stanza the poet describes about the tiger. The tiger is free enough to move around in the forest. As and when it wants to catch its prey, it can catch, hunt in its own way. Now let's see once again the stanza. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where the plum deer pass. Now let's see the third stanza. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. The tiger should be snarling. Snarling means growling or roaring round the houses, and it goes around the houses which are found at the edge of the jungle, and it was growling and roaring and frightening the people. Also, it's showing us bearing his white fangs. Showing his white fangs. The fangs means here you can see in this picture. This is the fangs. So these two long teeth are the fangs. Bearing his white fangs is claws. Claws means the long nails. And you can see in this picture, these are the claws. And these fangs and the claws are used for tearing the flesh of the animals. Showing the white fangs and the claws and terrorizing the village. They are frightening the village. Terrorizing means frightening. Frightening the village. Village means here not the village, the people in the village. You should be snarling. You want to hear the sound? Growling. So here the tiger goes around the houses which are found at the edge of the jungle, growling and roaring. It frightens the people, and also it shows his white fangs and claws and frighten the people in the village. And here in this stanza the poet describes the ability of the tiger when it is left in its natural habitat. So instead of being frightened when it is in the jungle, when it is in the zoo, and it can frighten the other people, other animals or the other people in the villages. Now let's see the next stanza. But he is locked in a concrete cell, its strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. He is locked. The tiger is locked in a concrete cell. In the concrete cell means the cage. Its strength behind bars. Not only the tiger is locked inside the cage, but also its strength. Its strength is also behind the cage. When it is helpless, though it has more strength and power, when it is locked inside the cage, it cannot show its strength, and that's why he says, the poet says, its strength is behind bars. Stalking the length of his cage. Stalking means walking, and why he uses the word length means, and he walks to and fro inside the cage. So that is what it can do within the space available in the cage, ignoring the visitors, and it's not bothering about the visitors who have come there to visit the other animals and the tiger, and it's not showing any interest in them. And we'll see once again. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. Let's see the last stanza. He hears the lost voice at night, the paddling calls, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. The tiger hears a lost voice. Lost voice. He hears a voice at late night from the people in the patrolling cars. Patrolling means going round on duty. Going round on duty, and stares with his brilliant eyes. The tiger stares at the brilliant stars with his brilliant eyes. The tiger can do only one thing, that is simply staring at the stars. And the poet is saying the eyes of the tiger are very bright as the stars which is in the sky. So in this whole poem, that the poet shows his concern towards the animal, and he says that animals should be left in their natural habitat to live independently. Now let's see the poetic devices used in this poem. And here alliteration is used, and you can see the examples: stars and stripes. These two are coming in the same line. What is alliteration? Same sound or the letter comes in the adjacent word and the same line is alliteration, right? So this stars and stripes, this first word, first letter S and S starts here, so it is alliteration. And here one more alliteration is plump pass. These two are the examples of alliteration. Next, the metaphor, and here parts of velvet. Here the paws of the tiger is compared with velvet. The softness of the paws of the tiger is compared with velvet. So it is metaphor. One more is oxymoron. Oxymoron is the quiet rage. Actually the tiger is rage, is angry, but it's still quiet. So what do you mean by oxymoron? So the use of words with contradictory meaning comes together is called oxymoron. Here the person who is angry will not be quiet, right? So the quiet and rage are the contradictory words which come together. So this is oxymoron. And next, repetition. And here quiet is given, another here another quiet is given. So this is repetition, 2 times it is used repeatedly, so it is repetition. And next poetic device is imagery. And here a word or this phrase which makes an image, which creates an image in the reader's mind is imagery, right? And here the sliding through the grass. So when we read this phrase, the reader can imagine the scene. So that is what is mentioned here. So it is imagery. Now let's see in this stanzas. And here also alliteration is used. Example, concrete cell and CNC, or the first letter of the each word comes adjacently, and then behind bars, these two are the alliterations. Next one is repetition. Here brilliant eyes and brilliant stars. This brilliant word used twice repeatedly, so it is repetition. Now we understood what are the devices, poetic devices used in this poem. Now let's move on to rhyming scheme. The first, second, third, and fifth stanzas, the rhyming scheme is A, B, C, B. Now let's see. For example, here you can see night is A, cars is B, ice is C, stars is B. So cars and stars rhyme with each other. And here houses is A, edge is B, class is C, and village is B. So edge and village, these words rhyme with each other. Whereas in fourth stanza, A, cell, bars, cage, and visitors. So all the letters at the end, all the words in the end are different. So the rhyming scheme of this stanza is A, B, C, D. You all understood, children? Thank you.